Well, in case you didn't know, there is a whole new Batman in town. WB Animation is introducing Aztec Batman in The Clash of Empires, and at the recent Annecy Animation Film Festival, we got a lot of new details on the project, so I thought we could break it down. Now, before we dive into it, though, I wanted to give a shout out to my favorite podcast, Who Would Win? It's a geek and comedy podcast that debates battles between superheroes and villains from worlds of comics, sci-fi, and fantasy. They've got some great matchups and excellent takes on all of these characters. It's linked down below, and I highly recommend you check it out. Well, like I was saying, there is a whole new Batman in town. Despite it being the familiar name of The Dark Knight, the upcoming WB animated movie, Aztec Batman, The Clash of Empires, will introduce a whole new take on the hero. And we got quite the presentation at Annecy. Now, the project is being overseen by Warner Bros. Animation and DC, but it is in partnership and being produced in Mexico with Anima and Chatron, giving the project a whole new look. Now, during the presentation, the director of the project broke down what's going on, and it's pretty clear to me we're getting a whole new take on the character, but going out of its way to be somewhat historically accurate. Now, during the presentation, the director Juan Meza Leon said that it is a bold project, promising an alternative take on the Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire, and opening up a little bit about how his version of Batman has a apparently very historically accurate look. At the presentation, he said, "No big jaw, no big shoulders, slimmer. A little less Schwarzenegger, a little more Bruce Lee. We had to focus on the man underneath the armor. We wanted to be true to the story we were telling. We hired an expert in Aztec matters who was advising us every step of the way." Now, we didn't get a trailer at Annecy, and none of the presentation has been released, but we have gotten some pretty great art for the project. You should be seeing it now. Now, this obviously appears to be Batman, the Joker, along with a Spanish conquistador that is this world's version of Two-Face. All of which look absolutely awesome and are cool, unique takes on the character. I have to say, from the concept art, I like the Joker the best. He is absolutely deranged looking, and the production team did an interesting job on capturing the concept of the character, all while staying pretty authentic. Now, if you remember correctly, this isn't the first time we've done different versions of Batman, because not too long ago, we got a version of Batman from Japan. That also was a whole new story and new take on the character, so fans should be pretty excited for this version. Now, apparently in the film, this version of Batman is marked by his own tragedy after witnessing his father's murder at the hands of Spanish conquistadors. Apparently, he will be facing off with the likes of Yoka, the Aztec version of the Joker, who is a high priest and a counselor to Montezuma, who ultimately chooses a dark path. They're also introducing their very own versions of Two-Face, a Spanish conquistador named Hernan Cortez, as well as their own versions of Poison Ivy, Alfred, and Catwoman, who in this feature is being called Jaguar Woman. And it appears in the descriptions Catwoman is going to play a big part of this upcoming feature and be key in teaching Batman how to become a warrior of the night. According to the producers, the Aztecs only generally fought during the day, but she is a little thief and the Robin Hood for the Aztec people, which totally does fit Catwoman pretty well. Now, as of right now, we have no release date for this project, but as you may have noticed, WB is dropping release dates pretty close to their actual release, and typically with a trailer. We know WB Animation and HBO Max are going to have a big presence at SDCC, and this project is tied closely to Max, so I think it might be one of those surprises in the form of a trailer or maybe even a bigger sneak peek. I love all these alternate takes on Batman, and this should be a lot of fun. Hopefully this continues this trend of these alternate Elseworld versions of the characters, and we'll get a lot more moving down the road. But we're going to have to wait and see.